Hey guys, I just want to introduce a new 6-part video series, 100 posts until a Google friendly website. 106, let's do it.
Hello and welcome and congratulations on grabbing access to this video course. This is video number 1 and we're going to begin with the introduction and the quick overview. So are you ready to understand how to make your rankings stick and understand the fundamentals that don't necessarily change? Now, before we do that, I want to talk about mindset, because I'm a big believer that if you're in the right mindset before you implement this process, then your likelihood of speeding up the process and doing it successfully is higher. Now, a lot of marketing strategies come and go. The ones that are often the ones that stay and stick are boring and overlooked, and that's why they are overlooked. So just keep that in mind, that as long as you're willing to do what is boring and constantly think about how to make your users' experience a good one, everything else is going to follow. So now what I want to do is give you a quick overview of the video course itself so you know exactly what to expect, and that way when you implement the process, it'll just make more sense. This is video number 1. Video number 2, we're going to talk about the intent of a keyword. Now, the reason why we want to do this before we get the keywords is because a lot of people, generally speaking, they'll type it in a keyword tool, they'll get a bunch of keywords, and then they'll just begin to try to rank on them. That is a big mistake. And the reason being is because if you don't know why somebody typed in a keyword, where they are in the process of buying, whether they're researching, whether they're comparing, whether they really don't know what they're buying, or if they do know what they're buying, it's going to be a lot easier to convince them. So knowing the intent of a keyword is crucial. Third, we're going to talk about getting keywords and understanding LSI. And I'll talk more about that acronym in that particular video. But at this point in time, we're going to get keywords and we are going to be using a free tool. Video number 4, we're going to talk about on-page optimization basics. Unfortunately, a lot of people miss out on optimization in terms of their website itself, such as how do you make your website search engine friendly so that when the search engine comes to your website, they know exactly what you are talking about. And video number 5, we're going to talk about WordPress on-page optimization. So from video 4, I talk about the fundamentals. Video number 5, we are going to do some implementation. So you learn it, and then we are going to implement it. All right. Video number 6, we're going to talk about creating LSI content so that Google knows what your content is all about, and therefore it's more likely going to rank you higher as long as you're not spammy. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to appease primarily the human being that is reading the content, but in doing so, you will please the search engines as well. We're not talking about black hat tactics here or gaming the system or anything like that. We're talking about long-term strategies. So video number 7, we're going to talk about on-page consistency with WordPress plugins. And I'm going to talk about some plugins that we have tested and we have found that work well with our results. Some plugins have come and gone. There's a particular one that I have found that has really done well across the board. And then I'm going to throw in a bonus in video number 8, and we're going to talk about high authority backlinks, where to go to get them, why high authority backlinks are more important than just a bunch of backlinks. So you see, back in the day, you could throw 100 backlinks at a site and get it ranked. And not so much nowadays, but this is more of a long-term strategy, and this works now and most likely will work in the end as long as you do not do it in a black hat manner. So that's that. And the next thing I want to do is talk about things you need to get started. Now, obviously, you're not going to need to have any tools because everything else is free aside from the domain and everything like that. But with the domain, the web hosting, that does cost money. Aside from that, WordPress is free. Aside from that, all the tools that we're going to be using is free too. But before you can actually figure out the intent of a keyword, you really need to figure out, what are you selling? Are you selling your own product? Are you selling somebody else's product? What are you selling? Is it a service? Is it a product? What is it? And number two, who are you selling to? I really want you to begin to paint a picture of who that might be, because you don't really want to necessarily please everybody. You want to please the person who is what we call a buyer, who really, really wants that product. All right. So who are you selling to? What do they look like? All of that. If you can figure all that, just a general point of view from their perspective, we can then move on to video number two. And with video number two, we're going to talk about the intent of a keyword, and I'll talk more about that in that video.